Just gonna do two kind of spots over here. I'll give you a little bonus camera. Hello and welcome to my channel. If you don't know me, my name is Different Breed, and if you do, then welcome back. I want to get better at this game, and my goal is to help you get better as I'm getting better. Today, we'll be going over camera spots on the map Cafe in the Pillars area. If you have a spot that you want to showcase, put it in the Discord, and it might make it into a future video. Hey, I just wanted to let you know the 29th of May this month in 2020, I will be doing a 1000 alpha pack opening over at twitch.tv/differentbreed. Be there or you're dead to me. The first camera that we're going to be doing is going to be over here on this west side, right underneath this table. Now our goal is to go ahead and throw it back. We're trying to get it on top of this table, but we're also trying to get it kind of like behind this chair. So I think we can even toss it a little bit further back. Actually, I think that was even closer than the one that I did before. See what I mean though? Like, so we're aiming down towards like almost where you think it's gonna hit the wall, but there's the hitbox on something here. There's like an invisible hitbox on this thing. You can see it's not actually on the table itself. That'll go ahead and pick up that camera. So what this camera is gonna be able to do is we're gonna be able to see obviously this west and the west window over here. But we're gonna be able to see, actually, I didn't even get it far enough to the left. I wanna get this even more to the left than I'm doing right here. So, like I'm saying, aim it a little bit lower than you actually think, but not that low, right? So aim it a little bit lower than you think. The invisible whatever is gonna go ahead and pick that up. And then we're gonna be able to see down this little red hall to the 90 here. And then we're also gonna be able to see over here. Now, if you wanna see the stairs, which you can see the stairs with this camera, you can toss this not so far back itself. I'm really good at this. This is why you're watching this video, because I'm the best at throwing these cameras. So if you look over here, you can see the stairs if you throw it just a little bit further forward to the south, I guess, if you want to call that. And then this camera is mainly for Pillars area over here. So actually, this arm on this chair is kind of blocking the view of the pillars. So this is gonna be a pretty finagly cam. I would definitely practice with this camera if you wanna get it perfect. If you wanna be able to see the stairs, see inside of this pillars area over here, and see this over here. So right now we can see basically all of them. So let me just get out of this area so that we can go ahead and see everything, and boom. This is about the main part that we wanna be seeing on this camera. And if we were to come over as an attacker and look for this camera, coming up the stairs, yeah, it's gonna be a little bit obvious. This is the point of where I'm saying that you want this chair to kind of hide this. So this is sitting behind the arm itself. If we get down lower here, we can see that it's actually this arm is what is hiding the center of the camera. Right there, you can see. So if you want, you can dump this a little bit even more over to get this back of the chair to hide it. Or you can completely hide it from the stairs, which is what I was doing earlier, where it's not being seen at all. And in fact, that might be a little bit better, because as you can see, we can see this cam completely, but if you look on the cam itself, you can barely see the sledge. So like if I tap over, you can't see the sledge anymore, but we can see this cam completely. So it might just be in your benefit to hide it from the stairs themselves. And let's go ahead and do that real quick. So now we can't see the stairs whatsoever, and if we look with an attacker, then we can't see the cam either, right? Unless we're like on the complete edge over here, which you can actually see the sledge and he can see the camera, but it's a lot more hidden. It's a lot more better this way. In my whoops, sorry, I hit the microphone. In my personal opinion, it's a lot better this way. So with that in mind, this camera can see the pillars area, and it can hear the pillars area as well. And it can see this red corner over here. Now, if we were to turn around and look for this camera, if you can see, it's gonna be, if we're standing up, we're gonna be able to see it a little bit. If we're crouched, we're gonna be able to see it a lot more. That's just what we're gonna have to deal with this camera here. It's out in the open, and we're just gonna hope that people aren't gonna look for it, and people are gonna look past it. So just don't scan on it. And of course, this, as I demonstrated many times, you can retrieve this camera. Our second camera is going to be in a very close spot to this one over here. We're actually just going to turn right around and look up at this light. we're gonna toss our camera right into this light up here, just like that. And the best thing to do is to toss it like as high up as you can, but not actually get it on the front of the lamp there. And I actually did it a little bit lower than what I did previously, because I think I threw it the first time pretty well. So just like that, you're gonna toss it on the pole. And what's very interesting about this camera is that if I'm looking with the sledge, then it's gonna be there, right? It's gonna be obvious that we're looking for it, but it's not gonna be so obvious if we're not all zoomed in with the ACOG and we're not looking for it. If we're looking down because we're more worried about this reading room door over here, if we're looking down this, then we're obviously not gonna be looking for this camera. If we're worried about pillars, or if we're worried about mining over here, then we're not gonna be looking for this camera that's here. And when we are looking for this camera, it's not a huge bright blue light saying I'm a camera, because we are using that light technique in order to hide the bright blue light from actually showing and happening. And this camera, as you can see, is meant for the pillars area over here. We can see a little bit to the south of the pillars, but people can obviously hide behind the pillars themselves, like right behind that painting, like the sledge is doing right now. We can't see him, but you know, he's hanging out right over there. So, I mean, that kind of, you know, isn't the best, but we can use it for audio cues. And we can see all the way to the west and the west window. And speaking of the west window, if we open it up and we look, we can see this camera right here. It's obviously right out and an obvious camera. However, if we are using this window to like look up and try and get an angle up here, or we're using it to look in here, then I don't think that that's going to be a huge obvious cam. If people don't spot on the camera, then it should be good to go on that. So it could be a pretty decent camera. Besides, who goes on that window really anyway? And of course, you can retrieve this camera. For our last camera here, we're actually gonna do two kind of spots over here. I'll give you a little bonus camera. So for the first one, we're actually gonna toss it right onto here. Now, we can't get it onto the tree itself because it's not gonna stick onto this tree. So the goal is to try and get it as back far as you can. So go ahead and toss it in there, and it's gonna hit off that tree and do whatever it wants to do, and then land on top of this Christmas present. Now, this is gonna be able to see this little pillar area over here, and that's basically it, right? So we have this east door, this reading door, and the pillars over here, and we're gonna have to use this mostly as a sound cue, as we can't see a lot of the pillars area. But if somebody was to come in here and bust in this east door as anybody, then we'll be able to see them, no problem. Here he is, loud and proud, and he's not looking for this camera. There's no way he's gonna pop right in and then be like, oh, there's a camera right here. As you can see, it's not even that well shown in this location. Even if we crouch, obviously it's a camera for one. So I mean, like, if you know what cameras look like and you're looking for cameras, then you're obviously gonna find it. But if you're not looking for cameras, then you're not really gonna look on top of those presents through that tree. So like I said, we can use the sound cue for him or anybody, any operator walking in the pillars area here. And if we are trying to look for this camera, then we can see it a little bit. It's not super annoying and super bright like usual, you would think. And it can kind of like blend in with the tree. Maybe if somebody's like looking really quickly, they might just see it and think like, oh, that's just another ornament on the tree, whatever, I'm not gonna pay attention to it, and then I'm gonna push into this reading door and not pay any mind, right? So that just might get overlooked in that circumstance, and we're actually gonna be able to see if somebody's gonna be over here and pushing. And if somebody was on top of the red balcony over here, then we can kind of see, if you really look, you can see that thing, that little pixels moving around, but you definitely can scan on this and you'll be able to do that right through, and that should be no problem. And if this guy's getting scanned and he's looking for this camera, then he's really not gonna find it. I mean, you can see this is the best spot that you can see this camera. Other than that, it's basically completely hidden. And for our fourth special camera, same exact location almost. We're gonna go right above it and use that little light trick again. So go ahead and toss the camera in there, and we're gonna be able to see down all of this little hallway thing over here. And this is gonna be good for the stairs and the pillars area, and obviously that west back far area over there. So if you're trying to protect this reading door, or if you're trying to see somebody in pillars or hear somebody in pillars, because you can use that as an audio cue as well, then you can go ahead and do that. And this one isn't hugely hidden. It's I don't want to say it's super obvious, but it is pretty obvious. You know, it's just sticking out in the open. The only benefit we have of this camera is that we're using the light. So it is kind of, you know, a little bit hidden from the light itself, but that's just stopping the huge blue from showing. Other than that, it's like, yeah, I'm obviously a camera. So don't shoot me, please. But of course the enemy is gonna shoot it if it sees it, because why would you not? That's just insane. And if you wanted to get these 2 cameras back, then you can go ahead and grab them both. If you wanna watch areas of other maps or this one, check out the playlist of my past cam videos linked on your screen right now. Don't forget to post your spots in the Discord. Until next time, stay different.